You did a big one in 2018.
Okay.
With a guy named Kanye.
Yes.
Wes, his Sunday service.
Yes.
He goes by Ye now. Kanye's had a pretty rough couple years here.
Yes.
Okay, and did some abhorrent things and has his rationales or whatever. Just last week, he sold out SoFi in Los Angeles 2 nights, 80,000 people, and is on this comeback tour. Just wanted to get your thoughts on where he's at and how that all looks to you.
You know, it's interesting because I had no contact with Kanye or Ye before he came on his spiritual journey, and that was back, like you said, in 2018 or so. So he wanted to talk, and we talked several times, and on the phone we met several times, and I found him. I can just tell you what I know. He was as respectful and kind and sincere as can be, and one of the nicest men. Came to my house, had dinner, came to the church, and did a beautiful Sunday service and all. I think, you know, I don't know, but he struggles with some, mental illnesses and stuff, and he's talked about that. But that's not what I see now, and some of the things I heard, since then, was not the Ye that I knew. And so I pray for him. I pray for him often because I know his heart, and I know he's a good man, and I believe that he loves God. It's just, sometimes you can maybe get a little off course. So I don't know where he's at. I wish I could speak to him again, but it's been a time we need to pray, that I need to pray for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you guys need to reconnect.
I'd love to do that. I don't know where he is. He seems like he's at a different place. I'm talking there, but I know he has I believe has a heart for God and a heart to do the right thing. I think, there's some, we all have issues, but sometimes it's stronger in people of just fighting some mental battles and just in general, not just with him, but there's mental illnesses are real and they can throw you off, and but I believe you can be healed and you can be restored.
It's a very complex situation, and I, as someone who's definitely struggled with the mental demons of life and done some really nasty stuff as a result of it. I think Kanye, like anybody else, has to go through the righting of the wrongs. Like how do you fix it now? And then how do you?
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah,
there's just one suggestion. He put an apology out, right?
He did put an apology out. He met with some people from the Jewish religion.
It was a written.
He did, yeah, but he met with a rabbi as well and has started to fix that.
I think for me, it would be nice to hear the apology and see the demeanor of the apology rather than like a tweet. You know what I'm saying? And it's just coming from someone who's made mistakes. I have a feeling that if I were to only leave it as a text-based apology, I'd be filleted.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he gets the Kanye pass because he's Kanye, but like I think the genuineness and authenticity of a real heartfelt apology, at least for me, would go a long way.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that with him. What if you guys had a one-on-one and that was his conversation about it?
I'd love to help in any way I can. I don't know if I have that influence with him, but I'd love to help in any way I can. I think what you're saying, Logan, just in general, people hear your heart is always better than a written word. And so, yeah.
Like I had a lot of people being like, "Oh, this was actually a good apology," and I'm like, man, how can you even think for 1 second this is genuine and not prepared by a PR team? How could you possibly know that?
Yeah.
And hasn't been glossed over by at least 20 people that are close with Kanye and looking out for him.
Yeah,
instead of it coming from him exactly.
I don't have the answers to it either. I do hear that for sure, and like the idea of him having a conversation about it, and like I'm not one of the afflicted ones by his statements. I'm a Christian, and so like I can't speak for other people, but like the idea that it should just fade out and we should just forget about it, seems a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. And obviously he's got a stroke of genius in him, and
he's still gonna be selling out stadiums and stuff. I mean,
and
Dylan's Jewish. He went.
He did.
Said it was a great time. He said it was great.
Everybody. I knew a lot of Jewish people that went to it,
really?
and Dylan's, stance on it was like, we need to find forgiveness for people as much as you do in the Christian faith. Like we look at things the same way. We're going to try to find a way to reconnect with our brothers and sisters and do that outreach that you do so well with your ministry. And I think, But it brings up this like deeper conversation around cancel culture in general. I think his seemed a little bit more obvious than some of the other cases, but like, where is the line? You know, at the end of the day, where you say, and it's a deep thing to go and say this human is beyond repair. That's a horrible thing to say.
Yeah. I don't know if I know the answer, Mike.
Me neither.
You know, there's
neither.
there's consequences that but you know, we're for second chances. But you know, obviously, there's times where second chance, but stay in the background though. Get your second chance. So I don't know what the answer is.
Hey there, Impulsive viewer. If you like that clip, check out another one just somewhere around this video screen.